Hello and welcome to Arabic language lessons. This is lesson 2 and 20, the Morrab and the Mebnee. الدرس 22 المعرب والمبني. And as usual, we begin by saying Assalamu alaikum. Previously in lesson 20, we discussed what is Arab and what is Bina, and we gave examples of them. In this lesson, we discussed something called Morrab and Mebnee, which, as you can tell by the colors, is very related. And we're also going to discuss who becomes Mu'rab and who becomes Mebni. And we will revisit this example. So first, what we mean by Mebni is that it will always be in this form. There's no other form. It will always be هذا. And the opposite of what we mean by Mebni is when we say Mu'rab. And when we say Mu'rab, that means there is three forms that the word can come in. And at the ending of the word can change in those three forms. Like it could be ضيف, it could be ضيفي, it could be ضيفة, as we saw in lesson 20. So basically what we say, when we say mu'rab, that means the ending can change. That means i'rab has happened to it. And when we say mebni, that means i'rab does not happen to it. Bina happens to it. And its ending does not change. It's always in this form. Now to answer who gets mebni and who gets mu'rab, we go back to when we split the Arabic speech into three: ism, wa fi'l, wa harf. First one is the easier one, the harf. Harf will always be mebni. It will never be mu'rab. So that's an easy one. Harf will always be mebni. Ism is originally mu'rab, but sometimes it will be mebni. Fi'l, on the other hand, is originally mebni, but sometimes it will be mu'rab. And in the future, we'll have one lesson that deals just with af'al when it comes to mabni and mu'rab, and in a separate lesson we'll do asma when it comes to mu'rab and mabni. For example, what I mean when I say harf will always be mabni, will never be mu'rab, meaning bi, which means with, will always be bi. It will never be something else like bu or ba, as I show here. Ba or bu or ba will never exist. Like those two don't exist as a meaning letter. It will always be bi, which means with. Now also you have qala as an example of a verb or an action. Fi'l. Qala will always be qala because it's mabni and it means said. But sometimes the fi'l, the action, can be mu'rab, as in the example of يقول. يقول can be, which means says, can come as يقول, as you can see here. So it could be either يقول or يقول. Now the last one we have is the ism. The ism is originally mu'rab. Like for example we have Ahmad, can be Ahmadu, Ahmada, or Ahmadi. It means Ahmed as a name. We will go into details. Also, when we look back at lesson 20, we did something, and I'm talking about the thing in green, that could also be a way to define what i'rab is. And the first thing is you give the word a job, as in what we did here when we said ضيف is fa'il. Second thing is you give the word an i'rab case, and here we said marfu'. The third one is you give the word a i'rab sign, and we said here it's dhamma. And this is something that we will discuss in lesson 23, because this lesson is long, so that's why I decided to split it in more than one lesson, so it becomes easier. So in lesson 23 we will talk about the signs and cases of i'rab, like this one, case and sign, marfu' and the dhamma as an example. In lesson 24 we will talk about the mu'rab and the mabni from the names. And in lesson 25 we'll talk about the mu'rab and the mabni in the actions, or from the actions. So this was our lesson. Remember, our objectives were, we wanted to know who gets mu'rab and who gets mabni, and what we mean by Morrab and Mebnee. And until next time, when we deal with the signs and cases of I'rab, مع السلامة.